Have you ever confronted someone about something they did, only to leave the conversation wondering if you imagined the whole thing? Maybe you clearly remember what happened, but somehow the other person insists it never happened that way. They say things like, "You're too sensitive. You're imagining things. That never happened." And slowly, your confidence in your own memory begins to fade. This tactic has a name. It's called gaslighting, and it's one of the most psychologically damaging forms of manipulation in relationships. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone repeatedly distorts reality in order to make another person doubt their perceptions, memories, or judgment. Over time, the goal becomes clear: control. When someone controls how you interpret reality, they control how you react. And when that happens, the victim slowly loses trust in their own instincts. Gaslighting rarely begins with obvious manipulation. In many relationships, it starts subtly: a small denial, a rewritten memory, a comment like, "That's not what happened." At first, it seems like a misunderstanding, but when these denials happen again and again, a pattern emerges. The gaslighter becomes the authority on what is real, and the victim begins questioning their own mind. Gaslighting often sounds like this: "You're remembering it wrong. You're overreacting. You're too emotional. You're making things up. I never said that." Each phrase may seem small on its own, but repeated over time, these statements chip away at self-trust. One of the main goals of gaslighting is emotional confusion. When someone feels confused, they become easier to control. Think of it like psychological fog. The more uncertainty someone feels about their own judgment, the more likely they are to rely on the person creating that confusion. People often assume gaslighting only works on those who lack confidence, but that's not entirely true. Even the most self-assured people can be affected when manipulation is repeated over time. Just like constant negativity can drain your energy, constant reality distortion can eventually make anyone question themselves. Interestingly, some gaslighters mix manipulation with moments of kindness. After an argument, they might suddenly become affectionate, apologetic, or flattering. This creates a confusing cycle of criticism followed by reassurance, and that emotional roller coaster keeps the victim hooked in the relationship. Not all gaslighting is intentional. Some people learn these behaviors from their upbringing, past relationships, or cultural environments where manipulation was normalized. However, whether intentional or not, the impact is the same. Gaslighting damages confidence, identity, and emotional safety. If you suspect you're being gaslit, several strategies can help. Document conversations or events to ground yourself in facts. Create distance when you can. If staying close is putting your mental health at risk, stepping back is an act of self-respect. Pay attention to patterns of manipulation rather than isolated incidents. Talk to someone you trust. A close friend, a family member, or a professional therapist can help you gain perspective and break through the fog. Learn to communicate assertively. You don't need to fight fire with fire. Calm, clear, boundary-setting communication changes the dynamic, and most importantly, trust the signals your body gives you when something feels wrong. Healthy relationships do not require you to question your sanity. They do not make you feel small, confused, or constantly wrong. Real love does not rewrite your reality. It respects it. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more psychology content on relationships, emotional patterns, and self-awareness. And remember, your experiences are valid and your perception matters.